of these secrets that helps them survive. But as you may have already figured out, we're not in this for money. We're in this for the lives saved. And to ensure there is zero doubt about what to do next, we're topping that off with the best guarantee in the business. We call it the Love It or Leave It Guarantee. And it is just like it sounds. Either love what the Family Survival Guide does for the safety of you and the people you love, or it's on us. That's right. You'll have 60 full days.
This man is
research and insight.
Definitely, what can I say? Fearful. I mean, he tries to sell you on the fear, and he's quite convinced that the United States is going to go to war with itself. Well, yeah, that's a possibility. In fact, he thinks it's more than a possibility. It's a probability. Well, what I'd like to talk about, I guess, is what happens when you open the doors to possibility with your mind. And clearly the United States has a great deal of karma coming, and I guess maybe the white man generally has some karma coming for his bloody ridiculous behavior. However, speaking now as a fluid druid and believing that somehow or other I have managed to establish some sort of thoughtful process which can get us all out of this without, you know, the necessity for spilling of a great deal of blood, although blood, of course, is spilled every day. And I've always made a stand against assassinations and taking of life in any ridiculous way. On the other hand, you know, life is something that we live, and then we're through it. And presumably, if we use our time in coherently here, then probably we'll go on somewhere else. Most of these people are clearly entirely materially, you know, committed to holding on to certain principles which are insane, like money, like domination of power. I think that the pressures that these fraudulent pressures, really because they're all fraudulent, the whole money game, and this man was talking about what happens, or what he was most scared of was the collapse of the American dollar. Well, there's not a hope in hell that the American dollar is going to collapse. I mean, it's just utter foolishness. And if sometime in the future I'm shown as one of those really idiot people that thought in an optimistic way and thought by opening the door of possibility to sound reasoning and common sense beginning to prevail in the face of all the idiocy that's been let loose by the corruption of, well, the intelligence services around the world, largely where people have been, as armies have been used to take care of the corporate well-being and the well-being of, I suppose, those particular aristocratic families that associate themselves with the principles of Zionism. And that seems to be following the, what should we say, map that I've heard has been developed by a man called, originally I believe, Albert Pike, and he was considered to be one of the most evil generals in the Civil War, with evil crimes to his credit. And apparently he was such an evil man that even the Confederate Army, for whom he was a general, were going to try him as a war criminal. He took off and apparently was one of the people that was alleged to have interpreted the, what was it now, the Anunnaki cuneiform, well, not cuneiform, but anyway, it was one of the scripts. He went to the British Museum and studied it long and hard and came to the conclusion that he really knew what it was all about, and basically predicted that, you know, at least 3 desperate wars, and we've had 2 of them, and they're pushing like crazy to get the other one. And it seems that the reason for that is because the Iranians were so angered, the CIA specifically, the Georges, of course, and they're still around, you know, they still want a piece of them, and I think that was largely because they shamed them so much by sneaking up on them with the Khomeini, and so they used the Islamic religion as a way of dumping off the Shah, of course, who had been put in over the objections of the majority of the people, who at that time were socialist and were supporting Mossadegh, who simply wanted a little bit more of the pie for the Iranian people from the British, and the Americans got in bed now, I gather, not so much just to support the British, but because they wanted to be right on the front doorstep of Russia, so they could use their short-term rocketry as well as their ballistic missiles and so on. So, you know, we were in the Cold War, and that was all totally artificially fixed. And yes, well, you know, the old-time geopolitics people have definitely brought us to an evil point. However, the solution, well, I think the solution still is here in Canada, is to maintain our should we say, sovereignty as individuals, and to certainly unload ourselves of the federal government. But to do that, I think we have to do it one step at a time. And the first thing we have to do is unload ourselves of all these corrupted now corporate paid-off parties, and probably individual members are still running around collecting money to run their candidature, and at the same time they're being robbed of any kind of effect by not being a part of the tight cabal which make up these cabinets, who are then sworn to secrets to know that the whole Canadian money thing is not an issue at all, and it's just one of the ways they play us backwards and forwards. That is us, the common people, the mob, if you will. And this has been going on in Canada now since, oh my goodness, well, I kept quiet about it for the first 12 years of living here, because I really didn't know what was going on. But after 12 years, and it's now more than 40 years since I blew the whistle on Mr. Trudeau, because he was now exceeding his authority, and that brought on the debts that then, of course, have, instead of providing an intelligent and peaceful and loving and harmonious and honorably settled people on the land, we've still got people trying to, well, not people trying, the Aboriginal people are still trying to assert their sovereignty through roadblocks and providing leadership towards a style of government which has yet to be described. However, if they use the system which to me is as Aboriginal as you can hope to get, with random selection from the tribe, and of a man and a woman meeting in separate circles to find, what should we say, the best way forward, the accord for the best way forward, that, you know, I could have imagined, or really, I mean, it's much like the American independence. That covenant then that was signed and agreed upon by all these rich guys was actually pretty much stolen from the Iroquois Confederacy, as it was so called. The only thing they left out that was in the Iroquois Confederacy, men and women had an equal role. And of course in the United States, you know, the men were running the show at that time because that's the way it was.